downtown where you can get a date for 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price. Now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Actress Vivica Fox says that she's taking applications for a new partner in a relationship. Now, the 59-year-old actress was on the Today Show, and as she was there, she was talking about how she was available and looking for a partner, and briefly went down the criteria in what she was looking for in a man.
When I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun, that's not intimidated by who and what I am, that likes to travel, going to let me go shopping.
I feel like you just spoke it into existence.
I hope so, girlfriend.
I feel like you just spoke.
And I'm taking applications.
Oh,
so if you got a friend. I'm good.
We'll be all.
And I don't discriminate. He can be. I'm not against different nationalities. Then you know that too.
Now, Vivica Fox wants to believe that she can still enter the social marketplace and go out and date at 59 going on 60 years old. Sad, just sad. Now, what's the problem with Vivica Fox is that she's out here talking about entering the dating marketplace when most people her age have basically already gotten married and they're already getting ready for their retirement and getting ready to move on into their golden years. And Vivica Fox, now at 59 years old, wants to call herself entering into the dating marketplace and thinking that she has a chance, when in actuality, at her age, she doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of getting any man in her age range or even younger to pay her any attention. Because sadly, what's happening here with Vivica Fox is something I talk about in depth in 2 of my books, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, and my other book, The Woman Crisis. Now, what's happening with Vivica Fox is like many of the 70% of Black women out here, many of them are still single because they follow the principles of feminism. And that principle that I talk about further in depth in my book, The Woman Crisis, is believing that a woman has all the time in the world. Now, this idea that feminists promoted heavily to Black women had many Black women looking to put off pursuing relationships with men when they were younger, hoping to pursue a successful career, and hoping that once they got their successful career, they would be able to go out here and find a man once they got older. Unfortunately, many women like Vivica Fox, who went on to pursue an acting career for many years, now are in a rude awakening once they try to enter the dating marketplace and look to be so-called ready to settle down. And sadly, at 59 going on 60 years old, while Vivica Fox is ready to settle down, sadly, no one is interested in settling for her, and nobody's looking to settle for her, basically because she's no longer the woman who was extremely attractive in her prime like she was when she was younger. No, Vivica Fox at 60 years old has basically gone beyond hitting the wall and is now past menopause, and at 60 years old is ready for not the dating marketplace, but she's ready for a full residence in Bust downtown with an apartment right near the graveyard. So most guys ain't checking for her like they did when she was younger in the 90s, 30 years ago. No, most of the men who she was hoping to pursue back then are already married and now have children and even have grandchildren. So with Vivica Fox, she basically wound up playing herself because now at 60 years old, she's looking to enter a social marketplace where the pickings are really practically slim to none and slim left town, and the only men who are available in that social marketplace with any sort of slight interest in them are old Pookie, who is still living in the house with the racing car bed with his mama, old Ray Ray, who basically is working security at the Denny's, or Romy Rome, who is basically at the clubs all night looking for somebody who is interested in dropping the skid mark jockey Fog and allowing him to put the carbon rod in the atomic race reactor for some nuclear fusion in exchange for a two-piece chicken dinner or a chicken wings and fried rice or even some White Castle burgers. I mean, these are the males that remain on the marketplace because what Vivica Fox did in her arrogance was believe that she was such a hot asset that she could basically wait out the market, not understanding how the social marketplace works. Because the social marketplace basically works like this for a lot of women who are extremely attractive when they are young, from about 18 to about 25 years old. They have their pick from the pool of simps out here to get involved with, and usually in those prime years, what these women do is waste their time because they listen to feminists who tell them they have all the time in the world, and in that time they wind up missing out on all of the quality men who they could have relationships with. And as they go out here and pass all of these men by, going on a quest for a better deal, what happens to these women is that they wind up with a raw deal in their older age. And that raw deal is one where these women basically do not get a husband, or they basically, if they do get involved with men, what they do is pass on marriage proposals, and they pass on these marriage proposals because they believe they have an opportunity at a better option because they have all the time in the world. And what's really sad about Vivica Fox is that she's basically taking this dysfunctional mindset nearly to the grave, because at 60 years old, she basically brings nothing to a man's table at all. And sadly, at 60 years old, she continues to hold on to the same disrespectful mindset and disrespectful feminist type attitude towards men. And as she holds on to this disrespectful attitude and mindset, she doesn't see how it's her that's keeping her single, and it's her that's keeping her from being able to have a successful relationship with a man. And even worse, she doesn't even see how her immature frame of thinking is also impeding her ability to grow in a relationship, because any woman who is past 25 is not out here looking to date. No, any woman past 25, in most cases, if they are going out with men, they are looking to create a long-term plan where they see if this man is a viable partner for a long-term relationship that will turn into a marriage, and they want to see if this person is viable for marriage. No, they're not wasting their time sitting up here talking about dating like some high school kid. And that's where Vivica Fox's whole development seems to be arrested. Again, it's really sad to hear a 59 going on 60-year-old woman still talking about dating, guys, when most women basically who are smart are married and out of the social marketplace at this point and are getting ready to enter their golden years with their husband. And here we have Vivica Fox still holding on to this whole dysfunctional frame of thinking, still talking about dating like she's 15 or 16 years old. But sadly, this is par for the course for most of these modern black women who are part of that 70% population that's single, they still are stuck in this arrested state of a development, still thinking of relationships like they were in high school and not thinking about graduating into womanhood by being married. And that's why we have again, almost 60-year-old woman sitting up here talking about dating and not understanding that she's basically stuck herself in not a place where she's a asset in the social marketplace, but is considered a liability that's being stuck in bust downtown, a place where women social marketplace values drop 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price. And when it comes to a woman like Vivica Fox, her social marketplace value has currently dropped lower than not a $5 food stamp without the book like Tia Mowry, not lower than a $10 food stamp without the book like Halle Berry, but lower than possibly a $50 or $100 food stamp without the book. And 90% of the dudes in the social marketplace ain't checking for no old woman like Vivica Fox, who's basically grandma. No, a man out here who has his stuff together. He doesn't even care about Vivica Fox washed up celebrity status because she's more washed up than a pair of skid mark jockey draws that have been washed with Renzo, Clorox, Downy, and the beads. I mean, basically, this chick is so washed up, most dudes basically ain't checking for her, and the ones that are in the places that she goes to get checked for basically are looking at her like an old grandma and wondering why is she in the club and not out here braiding the hair of her granddaughters or sitting with her granddaughters telling them stories about the time she was in the movies. That's where Vivica Fox would be right now, but she's currently in bust downtown, again, looking at a social marketplace value that's dropped so low that most guys, again, ain't interested in her. None of the young guys even looking to be taken care of by a sugar mama looking at Vivica Fox because she's basically got more miles than an 89 Yugo with a busted transmission and a blown head gasket. I mean, those guys ain't really checking for no Vivica Fox, but she's still caught up in all of the delusions and ideology of white feminism, and that's basically put her on the road to being a sad woman, because here we have a 60-year-old woman still trying to think that she can go into the social marketplace like she was when she was in her 20s, but nobody has told her the horrible truth that there are no pickings for her as related from men, because most of the brothers out here, most of the dudes out here ain't checking for no old grandma. No, nobody's checking for grandma in this social marketplace. And Vivica Fox is sitting up here embarrassing herself because she couldn't follow the lead of a man. Back in the day, she couldn't submit to the authority of a man. And because she couldn't do this right now, there's no man to lead her, no man to guide her, no man to keep her from embarrassing herself like she is right now. Because to see a 60-year-old man and 60-year-old woman stepping into the social marketplace talking about she want a date, I mean, that is the most pathetic thing to see as related to a woman or a man. And I'll say both because, again, when you have somebody that old, I mean, an older man is basically an old simp, and an older woman in the social marketplace talking about dating is really, again, really sad and pathetic. And when I look at this situation with Vivica Fox, I mean, this is just embarrassing to watch. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch a 60-year-old woman talking about what type of criteria she wants, when at that time, most guys are looking at her and saying, we don't care what you want. I mean, you could sit there and come out with your list, but most guys who see the marketplace see far more attractive younger women that they can get involved with. And for this woman to sit there and still say she got a list when she basically has nothing but a series of failed relationships from following the paradigm of failure. Basically, she's sitting there still thinking that she's this high-value asset, when in actuality, most guys stopped checking for her around the time she was involved with 50 Cent, and at that time, her social marketplace value basically dropped lower than a $100 food stamp without the book, but she's still thinking she's hot when she cooled off a long time ago. And with Vivica Fox at this point, she's so cool that she basically is like one of those glaciers in the Antarctic. And again, as somebody who's like a glacier in the Antarctic, most guys don't see her in any way, shape, or form. But we have this delusional woman still out here thinking she's some sort of prize, when in actuality, people stopped thinking of her as anything at all way back about 2010 or so. I mean, Vivica Fox has been done for a long time, and this desperate attempt to tell us that she's available when people stopped even considering her basically shows how sad Vivica Fox is. And it's just really sad because she's just the tip of the iceberg as related to these modern women. Because when it comes to these modern women, a lot of them are going to be in the same place that Vivica Fox is, basically waiting in Bus Downtown to be waiting for the grave, and waiting for the grave because they basically wasted the best years of their lives following the dysfunctional paradigm of failure that was given to them by feminists. Now, if you want to learn how to break out of the paradigm of failure that feminists established that took women like Vivica Fox on a bad road, you can pick up my books, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single and The Woman Crisis, and you can find both of those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com, and you can also find those books in digital format at Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and you can find them at big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me take more celebrities to the barbecue, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Illuminati. The man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.